All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and we are once again here at Cary Imports to do a review on the 2013 Lexus GS 350. So, this is not just any GS 350. This thing has about 250,000 miles on it, 240,892 to be exact. But if I were above, give it a shove, right? So we're just gonna round up, call it a 250,000 mile GS 350. So, if you are interested in purchasing the 250,000 mile GS 350, you are more than welcome to. It is located at Cary Imports. All their dealer information is down in the description box below. But this car, this is a car that many of you have been asking me to do a review on because you can't really buy these cars anymore. The Lexus GS is no longer going to be produced, so the only real way that you can actually get your hands on these vehicles is if you buy used. Now, I get, this is a 240,000, 250,000 mile, whatever vehicle. And what are some of the perks of that? Well, it's at the absolute end of its depreciation curve. I think the owner is going to list this for 11 and some change. The review goes on, but this thing is fitted with a glorious 3.5 liter V6 engine. That thing produces about 306 horsepower and about 277 pounds-feet of torque. This is that traditional V6 that you know and love. And there is no more V8 unless you get a GSF. So that 460 model, that's no more. That's why they made that 450H to replicate the power of a V8 essentially. So, but have no fear though, this engine, I absolutely love it. I've driven this in the IS 350 and a bunch of other cars, and it's a phenomenal motor. I have zero complaints with it. It's so smooth. And let me tell you, I just drove around that dealership a little bit, before I did this review. Dude, I just can't believe it. Like, the way that these cars age, the way it looks, the way the motor just starts up, no issues, air conditioning blowing in your face. This, I get it. I get why there's so many Lexus freaks out there. I have the LC500, yes, but that's a newer vehicle. I get why so many people, they covet and they try to get these things used. It's such a phenomenal machine. Dude, it just immediate accuracy and response to my inputs. Jesus Christ, dude, this thing gets up to speed effortlessly. I don't know what it is about this car, but I'm going to completely disregard that F-Sport I drove because this thing is so effortless. I think this is more punchier than my G80 was with the 3.8 liter V6. This is so quick, so effortless. I think the thing is quoted to do about 5.5 seconds at 60, whatever. I really don't care what the number is. It feels strong. It's so good. I have the traction control off right now. There's a couple of different drive modes here. They were touting down the press thing. Mind you, I was screwing with this car a little bit, testing out all the electronics and all that good stuff. This transmission is a 6-speed transmission, and it is reacting a lot better than the IS 350 non-F Sports transmission. This 6-speed is doing a great job downshifting. I was playing with the paddles a little bit. I wouldn't really bother with it. This thing reacts perfectly just fine the way it is in automatic mode. That's the way I would keep it. But yeah, like I was saying before, before I got distracted by that transmission there, I was playing with it, dude. There is no check engine lights. There is nothing wrong with it. They recently did replace the wheel bearing with this, and it is a one-owner vehicle. One guy put the 240,000 miles on this thing. And I'll talk more about in the interior segment, the way that that's aged. But, dude, as a driving utensil as of right now, I have no real complaints about it. This thing is riding so plush. I'm going to take it out on some roads that are complete garbage here in a bit, but this thing weighs about 3,800 pounds because it's the rear-wheel drive model, so it's the most lightweight GS that you could possibly buy. But dude, there's nothing weird or herky-jerky about driving this car. It's so smooth. I think the owner was saying that this is like the nicest driving car on their lot right now. A near 250,000 mile Lexus. These idiots are not going to let me pass, so whatever. Let's just chill out for a bit and just talk a little bit more about the car. Yeah, 3,800 pounds, so it's going to be the most nimble feeling car. It's about 191 inches long, so definitely a mid-size luxury car, no issues there. And see, look at that. Just when I need that passing power, it just gives you that gear effortlessly because it doesn't have that many gears to jump down. That's really what makes me love these 6-speed automatics. Such amazing power, dude. This is more than adequate for what you need for street driving, dude. Like, you don't need anything more than this. This is so good. That's why I love, a lot of people, they ask me, will I be happy with the 350 miles because they think because I drive an LC 500, everything else in the lineup is beneath me or something like that? No, absolutely not, dude. I love the 350 cars. I would be more than happy piloting one of these cars on an everyday basis. You have to have it on an absolute terrible, complete garbage pothole or something like that for you to even feel anything. This thing is riding beautifully, but most importantly, this thing is so quiet. This thing is like LS levels of quietness in here, and it's so solid, built so well in here. I knew it would be good. I didn't think it would be this good, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so effortlessly flying around here, just doing a great job lowering my blood pressure as well. You get a slight bit of road noise, and yeah, this thing is fitted with some pretty decent like Michelin tires, so I do like that. Yeah, that's really the only thing I'm really detecting with this car. Slight bit of road noise, you know what I'm saying? Brakes are really great too. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Love that. There's nothing strange or unnatural about driving this car. You know what I'm saying? I am detecting some slight buzzes and rattles coming from this interior. You have to admit, with all these miles on it, it's going to get shaken up somehow, and I totally forgive this car. It's a little buzzy up at the top here. A couple of door panels are rattling as well a little bit, but as a whole, dude, this is going to be the best aging car that you can get out on the market right now. None of the a German car with this many miles would be a complete rattle box tin can by now. But those are just some of the slight imperfections I've noticed thus far, if you want to know of any of my complaints with this thing. One thing, I'm loving the steering in this car. I have zero issues with it. I hate the IS350 without the F-Sport package. However, this, even without it, is performing so good. I have zero issues with it. Also, because it's a longer wheelbase car, it's soaking up the bumps a lot more, a lot better than an IS will, and that makes perfect sense, of course. It's a true shame that they're not making this car anymore, because compared to an ES, like a front-wheel drive car, yeah, it has a stronger motor, and yeah, it's faster. This is better than an ES, no doubts about it. I haven't driven the new one, the 2019 and up, unfortunately. But compared to the 2013 ES, the ES is superior, as you would expect. But it's just like that dynamic, the chassis, yes, they improved it over the previous generation GS, of course. So it's got a stiffer suspension and suspension is tweaked a little bit, yes, but the rigidity of the chassis is definitely improved. So just about to check that right here. Yeah, great chassis, dude. This is absolutely, yes, there's lean with it, but it's so composed, and that neutral kind of habit that this car has, that's what makes it superior to the ES when you're pushing it. However, no real Lexus driver pushes their cars, and I get that's kind of why they're stopping the GS, because anybody, at least brand new anyway, you're just going to go get an ES, because not only is it cheaper, but it's also about the same size as this, as we're going to see in the interior segment. And none of those, traditional Lexus buyers really appreciate the driving characteristic or that rear-wheel drive dynamic that this car has, because they'll also go out and get an IS as well. And again, I'm going to touch more about this in the interior segment, because this actually doesn't have much more space than an IS, actually, like the newer ones, like 2014 and up. I hate this turn signal, by the way. It has that stupid kind of BMW-like turn signal. Yeah, so here's the only real major con I've noticed with it. When you take it over some really garbage bumps, really harsh stuff, right? That's when you notice you hear the bumps a little bit more. It doesn't get completely unsettled, but that's the only time when you notice any type of imperfection with this car, because otherwise it rides really smooth. That's the only real advantage that the LS has. Even those big kind of gutters and kind of pothole type bumps, it'll absorb it a little bit better, and of course that makes sense, it's the LS, right? But this is still a nice double wishbone suspension setup. Having the traction control off makes driving this car a lot more fun, by the way. And it's just, ringing this thing out, hearing that induction sound, it's great because there is like a sound tube thing, like that induction tone thing built into this, so that's nice. But again, dude, you got to keep in mind this is a 250,000-mile Lexus and it's driving like this, dude. If you just clean this thing up a little bit, you know, clay bar that exterior, you know, give it a nice wash, really like kind of vacuum out this interior space, dude, you might even be able to, like, you know, park this inside of a Lexus showroom. It's that impressive. Yes, it's that white interior, and again, I'm going to show you that in a bit, but yeah, very quiet, very composed car, drives perfectly. It doesn't have the variable gear steering that the F Sport model has, and I'm not really missing it. That's kind of what I was trying to say before I got distracted by all these idiots on the road. I'm loving the steering feel of this. It's the perfect kind of weight. It's handling great. It drives great. There's no issues with it. Like I mentioned, the wheel bearing got replaced on it. It's a great driving car, man. I'm really liking the GS. Is it superior to my beloved little G80? No, there is a level of superiority to that G80. However, you don't care. You don't want to hear any of that. You don't appreciate Genesis. So for the Lexus freaks out there, you're still getting a phenomenal car here. This is a very good car. I'm very impressed with it. You can drive this on an everyday basis and not really get tired of it, and that's the most important thing about it. But yeah, driving wise, I mean, the only real cons I've noticed was the ride over like the worst bumps, like the really bad potholes. This thing is fitted with the 18-inch wheel, so it's got like the optional kind of larger wheels. 17s were the smallest wheels available with it. That was kind of the base wheels. That would help a little bit, but as a whole, it doesn't have that jittery nature to it. It rides really good. It's just, again, kind of has like that crashing sensation over the larger bumps, which like the LS kind of gets rid of, but this is a more fun driving experience over the ES, so if that's important to you, get this over the ES if you're kind of like confused between the two. However, you're not going to get much of a space advantage going with this car. And the only other things, you know, slight bit of tire noise, that's about it. And, you know, you can complain like a slight like hissing sound from like the wind noise, but this is a dead quiet car for the most part. It's one of the more quieter cars that you can get for sure, so I'm very impressed with that. No real issues there. Chassis is good, slight bit of lean, but yeah, turn signal was the only other thing I didn't really like about it. It's got that stupid kind of BMW early IS model type of turn signal. It's the only thing you had to keep in mind with these earlier GS models. But yes, that, you know, slightly larger wheelbase that this car has over the IS is going to help it ride a little bit better. It's going to have a little bit more of that higher speed stability sensation going on with this car over the IS. So that's the only other advantage that you're going to get there. Otherwise, it's the same type of motor and all that good stuff. So yes, driving wise, great car, phenomenal machine. And let me remind you, that is also with 250,000 miles on it. Literally no issues driving this car whatsoever. Now, interior space. I'm going to actually first start off with the rear leg space with this car. So, yes, I fit. I'm 5'11". I fit in the front perfectly. The seating position, it's like a slightly like a higher position, but again, I fit. It's not an issue at all. It's like a fishbowl driving this car. But yes, the rear seats, with my seat setting the way it is, yes, I absolutely fit back there. I have no issues. I can do a long commute in this thing, but I also fit in the back of the IS, the 2014 to 2020. I have no issues fitting in that, and also the ES. So all three of these cars kind of have like the similar type of like space to it. And again, this is some of the reasons why the GS wasn't all that popular, because I mean, you're not really gaining a whole lot in terms of space, and it's pretty much got the same powertrain as the IS 350. So if you want a sporty Lexus, you kind of sort of go with that with the F Sport package. And if you just want a plush experience, which is what a lot of Lexus buyers want, the ES does its job perfectly fine. And it's actually pretty fun to drive in its own way with this, you know, slight bit of torque steer and all that stuff. I did find that car to be enjoyable as well. But this is great. I really like this. Would I take this over an IS? Maybe. I might. If you were looking at an IS 350 that didn't have the F Sport package and a GS 350 without the F Sport package, I would go with the GS. I think this is superior to that, but if you're looking at an F Sport IS 350, I might go with that because that thing has amazing resale value. So something to consider there. But again, this is a specialty vehicle, you know, 250,000 miles. You're not really going to find that anywhere. So this is at the absolute end of its depreciation curve, and that's why I'm reviewing this thing. So, you know, where it lacks kind of in the rear legroom, which again, you know, you can be 6 foot and fit back there. That's not the issue here. I'm just saying you're not gaining a whole lot unless you go up to like an LS. But the trunk space, dude, that is like up there with an LS, dude. They were saying that the trunk space is up 25% over the previous generation GS. I believe it, dude. This is about the same size of a trunk as you get in an LS. They say that you can fit like 4 like full-size golf club sets back there. Okay, let's talk about everything else because I'm sure you're dying to know what a 250,000-mile Lexus interior looks like. It looks phenomenal. And this is even that white interior. And if I haven't mentioned already, it's a one-owner car. So one owner did this. Yes, it's worn out a little bit. You know, of course, you have to expect that. It's that white, light-colored interior. So there are bits and pieces where it's kind of worn, bits of the plastic where it's worn. But as a whole, it's such a solid place in a cabin to be, dude. You have to I have to nudge up against things to make it start creaking a little bit. Yes, I did mention that there were a few kind of rattles here and there when I went over some really bad bumps, but again, totally tolerable for this level of mileage. The leather quality is so plush. It did a great job, dude. There's no real wrinkles to it because it's kind of like that fake faux leather, and I have no real issues with that. That's why it's held up so well. But if you got a black interior one, dude, this thing would have aged perfectly, actually. Yeah, the one-touch up and down windows for all 4 windows, all of it works, and it even does that slow closing thing, so I like that. You don't have any double pane glass or anything like that, so, but even regardless, even without it, it still is very quiet in here. Memory seats, that works. I mean, the door has a nice quality, hefty feel to it. Every Lexus kind of has that feeling. The steering wheel is a perfect size. Again, it has nice little paddles here, but I wouldn't really use it. I don't think it's reactive enough. I don't think you get enough out of it. Now, these seats, I already mentioned, they age really well. However, they're stupid comfortable, dude. I love the Lexus seat about it. It's got a traditional kind of gear shifter thing. You have the drive mode thing here. I mean, I just like to drive it around in normal, actually. That's my most favorite mode, but it does get pretty reactive in the sport mode too. But again, 6-speed, does a great job downshifting. That's not even remotely an issue. All the dials, the switch gears, they have a nice quality feel to it. Again, nothing's loose. Nothing's going to feel like it's going to fall off with this many miles on it. Most importantly, once again, let me say everything works in here. Climate control, no issues. It's completely separated from the screen, shows you the temperature, all that good stuff. So that's great. The heated and cooled seats, this car has it, so I try to use the cooled seats because it's really hot out right now. I put it on full blast. It wasn't really cooling anything though, to be fair. When I kind of lift myself off the back of the thing, I feel the fans working, but it's not really doing a great job cooling because I have the cooled seats in the LC500 and that does a much better job. But again, not a big issue because the actual climate control, the AC, works phenomenal in here. As well, Lexus clock, of course, I love that. A lot of people don't. Well, I do. I freaking love that. Cup holders up front here. Even the little mechanism that slowly closes and opens, that opens up perfectly. No issues there. Plenty of space in the glove box. That's pretty good. You actually have a peasant blocker in the back, actually, which I thought was great. But it's kind of blocked off by the center armrest. You kind of slide it over. So that's when you kind of reveal the button. And you kind of push it up and down however you like. Again, that works too. You don't have the peasant blockers for the side windows though, just for that rear, but it's pretty good nonetheless. Now let's talk about the electronics, the infotainment with this thing. It's got the new age kind of 2013 infotainment, and let me tell you something. I love it. It works. It's really quick to react to my inputs. It uses that mouse thing, dude. I have no issues. I don't know why everybody's having a big fuss over it. No, it's not perfect. Sometimes it can screw up a little bit here, but dude, I don't really like that many infotainments, and I don't screw with it while I'm driving. I don't know if you people are, so maybe that's why you don't like it. If you play with this thing when you're driving, you're gonna crash, but that goes for any infotainment, phone, whatever. You should not be distracted while you drive. So when I'm parked, I have no issues kind of getting around this thing, what I'm saying? It's almost kind of fun to use. Call that a criminal thing, but the only things I don't like is when you have to make small adjustments. You have to get over one thing might jump 2 things, what I'm saying? That's the only thing I don't like. Otherwise, it's pretty good. It works. It's fast to react even after all these years, 7 years later, so that's pretty good. Just come with the GPS. It does not have the Mark Levinson audio, but I did listen to it and it does sound good. It's like an immersive experience. As stupid as that sounds, it's pretty immersive. I don't mind it. It's a pretty good base audio system. I actually never really complain about the audio systems in a Lexus, even if it doesn't have the Mark Levinson, so that's pretty good. It does have a sunroof in here as well, so that's pretty good. Already talked about the rear seats, already talked about the trunk, adequate, and the trunk is massive, so that's great. This car is phenomenal. It is one to look into, one to buy. I like that it has that new car look on the outside. However, everything about it, the mechanicals, are old school with this 6-speed auto, naturally aspirated V6, pulls beautifully. I have no issues with it. I like the way that everything in here reacts better than the IS. However, it's not superior to the F Sport package. It rings out beautifully, has a great sound, a great tone to it, great induction noise because they kind of built it in here, but it's not fake. That's the most important thing about it. It's idling smooth, it sounds smooth. It's just a great car, man. Other nice little amenities I forgot to mention: automatic headlights, you know what I'm saying? So, and automatic windshield wiper. So it's like it automatically detects all that stuff. It's easy to drive, easy to get in and out of. Fantastic car. It has my approval. If you want to purchase this vehicle, you are more than welcome to. It's located at Cary Imports, and you can have the vehicle shipped. You can arrange that yourself. So yes, there you are. That's my review on the GS 350. Hopefully you found value with it. And thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.